It's a little long, but bear with me. If is a big word. If Jesus had been looking down at his device or tablet, he never would have seen the woman at the well, or Zacchaeus up in the tree, or noticed the downcast woman as was once, and sometimes still is me. If he hadn't have been writing the words of his Father upon his heart, he never would have known the plan or counted the cost, and I don't think he'd have been able to endure the cross. If his friends hadn't abandoned him, he'd have been able to trust and rely on them and their weapons of mass destruction or man's guts or glory or cure. But he didn't. And if he planned to, he'd have wrote it from antiquities so all could be sure. If any of this book is errant, then we will all suffer and die in misery in eternity in a place called the abyss. Or if one says there is no God, they are a damn fool. And man, eternal damnation don't sound all that cool. That place is described as darkness so thick they're groping about in extreme heat. Also, constant suffering and agony and torments constant there. It's so bad that occupants even gnash at their own teeth in eternal utter despair. This is why I so adamantly refuse to listen to anyone created who teaches differently. If he be praised as a highly intelligent scientist or a god or prince of man, though his image be eternalized in a rock or in wood or stone, you know it's just been 100 years from apes. Man says we came. And I find that not only repulsive, but quite rather lame. I am saddened, too, that I've watched a nation turn to a degenerate generation that cannot listen to an old lady that lives in a box, because I still believe in a God, an eternal God who brought water from rocks twice. That same God parted the sea and made a highway so he could safely navigate his chosen people across. For his most prized of all creation, his precious son, would come through that stubborn generation. There's hope for all of us. Nearly 2,000 years ago, he came through a virgin birth to encourage those still waiting on the Messiah, declaring, I am he that was written and that came to save. He told them he would suffer in death, but that he'd live again after 3 days. He would be buried among the rich in the heart of the earth. They still couldn't listen, and they didn't trust him, but he still proved his worth. The Father knew exactly exactly how his lamb would be lifted up on a cross between two guilty men on exactly what appointed feast day to fulfill all these things. I'm trusting him for daily bread and future hope that his promises brings. Before he left us upon the clouds, he told them, the same way I'm returning once again. He instructed them to go, as they were told, invite all to the wedding feast. And remember, don't be distracted by the things in this life. Oh, and foremost, remember, you all collectively represent my wife. Not because of our words or acts or deeds, not because of how I dress or cover my temple lavishly, not because of anything I have abstained from or anything I did, not because of whom I marry or become, but because I said yes, and He is enough, and then some. I have decided to follow Jesus. It isn't an easy button or an excuse for fulfilling my lust or a free pass to sin. It is according to His word and His way. He is the breath in my lungs, the water for my soul each and every day. Family and old friends may not choose the path, and they may restrict you from their circle or their comfort zone. But if my face is set like a flint to live seeking the lost as Jesus did and go to any length, that He is my supplication and joy and strength to save a soul, and not a dollar He went about the way. If not, then Jesus would have never gone to that cross. He'd have been like Judas, and we'd all be suffering the loss. Lord, let my light bear Your image and Your words written upon my heart, a new name upon my forehead, a beacon of light to a stranger in the dark, or to the hungry a loaf of bread. If not for Your glory, God, what am I doing here? Why does my heart feel so burdened for others who are hurting or living in disbelief and fear? If not for Your peace and love and words of comfort, what can I extend? Not all the money in the world can secure man's eternal end. Money, fortune, or the praises of men have I not. But if You are the captain of my ship, Lord, everything I need I have got. I read a poem once that described man's truest need. If it had been knowledge, then Jesus would have been a teacher. If a healer, He'd have been a doctor. If money, He'd have been a Rockefeller. You get the idea. But our truest need was a Savior, so He sent us His perfect sacrificial lamb. If you have decided to follow Him long ago, but feel lost along the way, or if you never but wanted to today, His word never changes, though written from the beginning to each generation until the rooms of His mansion are full. When this heaven and earth are at its end, what a celebration that will be for us. But we must persevere on mission to all the people on earth, eager to share light and salt with a stranger as if he was your friend. It may be somebody's daughter or son who have not found the truth. If from the beginning you were purposed and you're trusting in the Father's hand, then invite them. Share the way. When you get to heaven, man, you see them there. Won't that be grand? We all desire to succeed in this life, but what if success is a cup of water, or a break, a helping hand, a day to help lift someone else on top, and they're sitting in your path to do so if you'll take the time to stop. Stop trying the new and approved, or making it your own, or letting others define what is good or best or true. Stop setting the bar the Father never desired, as if someone else's worth or opinion is of value. Only the King of Kings is a righteous judge of all that is real and true. You don't have to believe me or take my word for it. There's a history book to declare it's true. Pick it up and read it for yourself. You'll see it's a yearbook of sorts. What if it even includes